Hi friends, welcome to the Unit R Day 3 notes. We're at example 4, simplifying expressions. It says perform the indicated operation. So what we're going to do is we're going to be distributing, and number 4, we're going to be distributing this negative sign through all of the terms to the right. So that gives us 4x squared minus 3x, and then minus x squared minus 2x, and then plus 1. Combining like terms, if I take 4x squared minus x squared, that gives me 3x squared. Negative 3x minus 2x gives me negative 5x, and then plus 1 is left over. Whenever we write these, we also write the power exponent in order from greatest to least, so x squared would go first, then the negative 5x, and then the plus 1. For number 5, since we're adding, we can actually drop the parentheses. All it is just a grouping symbol. We don't need a group. Now we just look for common terms. 3x cubed plus x cubed gives us 4x cubed. That's my highest degree power exponent. Next thing I have is a 2x squared and minus 10x squared, so that gives me a negative 8x squared. This x here, negative x, carries down. Negative 7 plus 8 give me plus 1. Number 6, again this minus sign is distributed through, so this is going to be minus 2x cubed minus 6x squared minus x, plus x, and then minus 1. So then when I go through and combine these, I'm going to have 8x cubed. I'll go ahead and rewrite this part as well so I don't lose it. Minus 2x plus 9. So 8x cubed minus 2x cubed gives me 6x cubed. And then negative 3x squared minus 6x squared is going to give me negative 9x squared. Negative 2x plus x is negative x. And then 9 minus 1 is plus 8. There's addition and subtraction. Now we're going to see some multiplication. So with this one, number 7, what we're going to have is that 4n plus 1 times 2n minus 5. Many of you have probably learned some different ways to multiply through this, whether it be like foiling or the table method. If you haven't learned the table method, that's going to be something I'm going to show you. So I'm going to actually show the table method so you can see it. Table method, the way, excuse me, the way you set it up is that you do so each term gets its own slot, either in a column or row. So 4n plus 1 will go here, and then 2n, and then negative 5 goes here. So 4n times 2n is 8n squared. 1 times 2n is 2n. 4n times negative 5 is negative 20n. And then 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. And then what I do is I just write out my terms. So I have 8n squared plus 2n minus 20n minus 5. Combine like terms, and you get 8n squared minus 18n minus 5. That's an example of using the table method. Then down here at the bottom, number 8, we're just going to distribute that 3x through each of the terms. 3 times 5 is 15, so that gives me 15x to the 5th, minus, and then 3x to the 4th, and then I'm going to have plus 12x squared. Forgot to box the previous answer as well. There's 8. And next page, number 9, I have the quantity y minus 3x squared. So if I take y minus 3x squared, that means that I actually am taking y minus 3x times y minus 3x. A lot of students miss that. If you did the FOIL method, which is okay to do because it's a binomial. It doesn't work all the time, but because it's a binomial, you can multiply through. Binomial times a binomial. So y times y, that's my first term, so that's going to give me y squared. My outside term is y times negative 3x gives me negative 3xy. And then inside terms, negative 3x times y gives me negative 3xy. And then my last term is negative 3x times negative 3x is going to give me a positive 9x squared. So then combining these together, I have y squared, and then these two combined to become negative 6xy, and then plus 9x squared. Generally, if I was to write this, I would write the leading coefficient would be x squared. However, because this was written in this order, which it's kind of a red flag that's kind of written in this order. Generally, this would be acceptable, but normally what you would do is you do the 9x first, 9x squared first. 10. This one, I'm going to show using the double distributive method. Essentially, k gets distributed to all of these terms, and then 3 gets distributed to all of these terms. So I'm going to multiply k times k squared, so that's k cubed. This is how I draw my k's. It's just how I learned. K times 3k is 3k squared. K times 9 is 9k. And then the other term, 3 times k squared, is 3k squared. 3 times 3k is 9k. And then 3 times 9 is 27. Now the next step is to combine like terms. You have to be super careful. I want to make sure that I don't miss any. K cubed is the only term there, so that was going to be first. K cubed is first. Then I have a 3k squared and another 3k squared. If I combine those together, I get 6k squared. Plus 9k and 9k gives me 18k. And then 27. Number 11, we have 3b plus c quantity cubed. So that means I'm taking 3b plus c times 3b plus c times 3b plus c. So I'm going to show this using the table method. There's actually shortcuts for some of these that we will pick up in a later section. It's one of those that you kind of know the formula, know the application, and then you can kind of memorize your way through. So this is going to be 9b squared. That's 3bc, 3bc, and then c squared. So this gives me, when I combine these together, that's going to give me 9b squared plus 6bc plus c squared. And all of this is times another 3b plus c. So again, I'm going to use the table method again on this part. So that's going to be, do 3b plus c, multiplying it out. So I have 9b squared, 6bc, and then c squared here. So if I multiply this out, 9b squared and 3b, so 3b times 9b squared, so 27b cubed. 3b times 6bc gives me 18b squared c. 3b times c squared is 3b c squared. 9b squared c for this spot here, and then 6b c squared, and then c times c squared is c cubed. So if I combine all these together, so if I add these inside this area here, if I add those up, that's going to give me 27b cubed. These two combine together to also give me 27b squared c. These two combine together to give me 9b c squared, and then plus c cubed. Number 12, I have another one that's just like what we did, except now we have terms that are not double variables. So I think 11 is probably one of the trickiest one out of the set. Again, I'm going to use the table method, x and negative 12. You could also do the double distributive method that I did earlier. You will see that I kind of default to the table method. It's one that I prefer. It's not that you can't do the other methods, unless there's something that's preventing you from doing the other methods. For example, you can't FOIL this one because it's not two terms with binomials. You have a trinomial, so you only FOIL if it's two binomials. 2 times 2x squared is 2x cubed. X times 10x is 10x squared. And then x times negative 4 is negative 4x. Negative 12 times 2x squared is negative 24x squared. Negative 12 times 10x is negative 120x. Sorry, it's I should have made these squares bigger. I apologize. Negative 12 times negative 4 is a positive 48. If I combine all these terms together, 2x cubed will go first, and then 10x squared plus negative 24x squared, that means negative 14x squared. and I have a negative 124x, and then plus 48. And then number 13, very similar to the other ones that we did. So again, you could FOIL two of these terms. You could do it, table method, double distributive. However, you need to note that we've got a multiplication and then a multiplication. So you need to do one of these sets first before you then apply it to the other set. And order doesn't matter because you're multiplying. So you can actually multiply these two first. I'm going to show you that I'm actually going to do that. So I'm going to just bring down the x minus 1. And then I'm going to multiply through x times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. 4 times x is 4x. And then 4 times 3 is 12. So then, now I have x minus 1 times, if I simplify this, x squared plus 7x plus 12. And then now I can use the table method for this part, or I could just double distributive through. This one's actually easier, I think, to double distribute through because of the small values. However, because some of you have just seen the table method for the first time, I'm going to show that as here as well. Again, do what you find easiest and will get you the right results. Something about math is, being comfortable with it and knowing where your comfortability-ness is, but also pushing yourself. So if if this is the first time seeing it, try it out a few times before you make a judgment based on, what it is. So x times x squared is x cubed. Negative 1 times x squared is negative x squared. So give me 7x squared here, and then negative 7x here. X times 12 is 12x. Then negative 1 times 12 is negative 12. When I combine like terms, I have x cubed. And then here and here, that's going to give me a 6, so plus 6x squared. These two combined to give me a 5x, and then minus 12. All right, friends, that is the end of this particular section. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Bye.